Today we're discussing how to become more disciplined and focused, 7 ways for you to master self-discipline. Before we go any further, have you subscribed? Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when videos like this come out. I remember growing up, my grandmother, of course, when all this happened, I wasn't even born, but my grandfather died when my grandmother had just had her last born baby. He was nursing and she had 12 kids. Sorry guys, I think it's about 12. So there were 12 of them, and she's a single mom back there, left with all these children. And what she basically did is she worked hard. So through hard work and determination, she managed to raise her kids, take them all to school, so they're all educated, they're all well-to-do people, and they had a pretty good childhood. Many years later, I would see the same pattern in my mother. She was single for, part of our childhood growing up as a single mom, and she, through hard work and determination, managed to provide for us, take us to good schools, we're all educated, and I think we're all doing pretty well. When I look at these two women, it wasn't motivation and inspiration that sustained them. On the contrary, it was merely self-discipline. So what is self-discipline? According to the Oxford Dictionary, self-discipline is defined as the ability to control one's feelings and overcome one's weaknesses. If you're going to wait for motivation and inspiration, you will be waiting a long time, like I said before. And I know we all have feelings. Feelings are a good pointer of what's going on inside or how we feel about a particular decision or life choice or scenario. They're really good, but I believe that they too have their own place. You can't be listening to your feelings all the time. It's not productive and it is not healthy for you and for the people around you. So what are 7 ways that you can master self-control? If this is resonating with you, make sure to hit the like button. Number 1 is start with the end in mind. When the week begins on Sunday, when you're making a plan for the week, or I don't know whether you do your planning on Monday, whatever that is, visualize how you want your week to actually play out and visualize the outcome that you have in your mind. Keeping the outcome in mind will really help you to maintain that self-discipline and dedication when you want to stop and when you want to give up. So make this visualization of your ideal outcome part of what you do on a regular basis, whether it's weekly, monthly, it's up to you. We tend to do this so well at the end of the year with New Year resolutions. We love, like many people, I'm one of them, we love sitting down and writing down our New Year resolutions and visualizing how and where we're going to be at the end of the year. We can do the same thing on a weekly basis, and I think it's a more practical ways of achieving our goals because you're breaking it down into actionable steps that you can actually take. Number 2 is summarize your major goals and intentions on a small piece of paper and keep it with you during the day. At various stages during the day, it's helpful or productive for you to just stop and read those major goals and remind yourself of what they are. So I keep mine on this, I think it's an A6 piece of card, and then during the day I tend to stop and then just read what those major goals are to remind myself, and they are in different life areas as well. That's what I like about this, because it helps me maintain a sense of balance. So you don't want to just work hard all in, let's say with your job, and then neglect your family, or then neglect your spouse or partner, or you don't want to work so hard on, maybe it can be on your health, and then forget about your emotional life as well. So having my major goals and intentions on a small piece of card has definitely helped me in remaining focused on the direction that I'm taking and on the things that I want to achieve, because I always have it with me. And this is basically a summary of my New Year resolutions as well. So I make my resolutions in 5 key life areas, and then with those 5 key life areas, as the year progresses, I have this card with me as a summary of what those are. So that's definitely something that you can implement in building self-discipline, because then you train yourself to always keep the bigger picture in mind. I think the reason why we tend to lose focus when we're only depending on motivation and inspiration is because it's short-sighted. But having your goals, having your values, having your major intentions summarized and with you all the time is a major way of enabling you to even shift the way you view and identify yourself, because you're looking at this card and seeing the person you want to become. 3 is realizing that you don't always have to believe your thoughts. Here's the way I view thoughts sometimes. Thoughts can be like, like kids that are when kids go to a gathering and they get overexcited and they can't sit down and they're running around and they're out of control. That's how I view thoughts sometimes, just these little, and sometimes they can be like little monsters that are always going off in your head in every different direction. It's like 1 minute you're thinking, okay, what am I gonna have for dinner? The next minute you're thinking, but what did she mean when she said what she said to me last week? And then you're thinking, I should have said this and this and this to that person. So if you are going to be guided by your thoughts, then it will lead to a lack of motivation and inspiration, that's for sure, because your thoughts, they're up and down depending on the day, on the season, on the weather. Maybe if it's raining and you hate the rain, I love the rain, by the way, then you're going to be sad because you hate the rain. So learn to actually see your thoughts but not necessarily believe them. You don't have to believe your thoughts all the time, and your thoughts do not have to be at work all the time. If you're working on an important project, if you're in your garden and you're working on growing your plants, then you don't have to be thinking about what's for dinner in the evening, or you don't have to be putting yourself down because there's a thought in your head that tells you that you're not good enough. And I think that's one of the biggest things that holds people back, those negative thoughts that tell them, who do you think you are? You're not good enough for this. Why don't you just stop? It never works out anyway. You're always broke. Why do you think that will ever change? How can you build your own business? Da 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 da. It's like the song that doesn't end in your mind. And growing self-discipline is actually telling those thoughts to stop. I find that I tend to stop and observe my thoughts a lot during the day, and particularly, let's say in the shower, after a shower, a thought will just come up, and if it's negative, I'll ask myself, is it true? Most likely it's not true. And if it's not true, if it's not nice, why should I apply it to myself? It's like, as people, I think we're nicer to other people than we are to ourselves. We allow all these negative thoughts that beat us down into our minds. We let them just run free, and then we believe them. Like, we talk to ourselves in a tone that we don't speak with other people. If you're entertaining so many negative thoughts about yourself, you're likely going to be negative towards other people, because hurting people hurt others and loving people love others. So really discipline your thoughts, and that's a major part of self-discipline. Really draw the line when it comes to the thoughts that you're thinking, and say, okay, as for these kind of thoughts, you're not welcome here. And when it comes in, you draw the line. And then of course there are times when you do need to think or sit with a negative thought, but put yourself on a time frame and let it be productive. By the way, come follow us on Instagram 3 times a day. We keep you motivated to take action on your dreams. So make sure you come follow us on Instagram at womapreneur. Number 4, have keystone habits that will act as an anchor for you to keep coming back to. For example, if your goal is to become an author and write a book, then you can have a keystone habit of waking up every day at 5 a.m. and writing for 1 hour before you actually go to work. For me, I have a number of keystone habits that I always come back to. Part of those are my morning routine. So I know that when I wake up, I will read a book, I will meditate, I will pray, I will journal, and I will exercise. So I'll probably not do all of them, but every single day I'll try and do at least 3 or 4. And I know that these keystone habits keep me anchored and focused and productive. On the days when I'm not exercising or practicing these keystone habits, it shows. It shows because my willpower is weak and it's difficult for me to take part in creative projects. It's probably easier on such days for me to do routine work that I do on a regular basis rather than something that is creative or something that requires me to come out of my comfort zone. So you can look at the goal you want to achieve. Think about a keystone habit that you can actually practice around that. So a keystone habit is one small thing you can do such that by doing it, it makes everything else easier or better. Number 5 is taking digital breaks. There is no bigger buzzkill like scrolling aimlessly on the phone, because usually it starts off as 5 minutes, it becomes 10, it becomes 15. Before you know it, it's an hour, and then the day has passed and you have not done anything productive. Of course, if you have a physical workplace that you go to, you cannot do that at work because you're surrounded by other people. But it really matters when you work from home, or if you have your own business, or if your work has been affected by COVID and you have to just be home. You have to have that willpower and discipline, and your day can really just pass by when you're scrolling aimlessly on the phone. If I wake up early during the day and just start going on my phone, I know for sure this day is not going to be productive because my thoughts become scattered somehow. It becomes difficult to focus. I start comparing myself with other people that I'm actually finding on social media, and I have a feeling that if I compare myself with other people on social media, if I go there without being mentally prepared, then I'm sure that you probably do the same. You start comparing yourself with other people, and it does no good for your self-control, discipline, or for your creative ideas. Make sure your destiny or your dreams are not killed just by lacking discipline when it comes to using your phone. Number 6, when it comes to growing your self-discipline, is reward yourself regularly. If you have a major project or task or goal that you set for yourself and then you achieve it, say in the week, then tell yourself that, you know what, this is what I'm working on this week. After achieving it, we're going to celebrate, we're going to go out and eat, or I'm going to go for a drive, or go for a manicure, pedicure, something that you really love and enjoy. Your brain is triggered by those things. Your brain is triggered by reward. In fact, the reason why people struggle with discipline and habits so much is because we just want rewards all the time. Like, we just want to be rewarded without the work. Like, that's how the human brain works. It's triggered by reward. So for you, make reward work for you when it comes to building your self-discipline by telling yourself that if I do X, Y, and Z, I'm going to reward myself by doing C, B, and X on this particular date. And if you set a reward for yourself, make sure that you actually honor that reward. Go ahead and actually enjoy that reward. That way it creates a pattern in your mind. Because if you tell yourself that, okay, I'll reward myself after writing 5,000 words of this book, and then you don't, it's like you're dishonoring your own word, and it will make you lose your willpower as time moves. But if you know that you stick with your rewards, then your brain is going to help you. It's going to work in your favor in building that self-discipline for achieving your goal. Lastly, if all things fail, then get an accountability partner. In fact, getting an accountability partner is not even people who are self-disciplined have accountability partners. This is someone who keeps you accountable. So this is someone that you tell that this is what I'm working on, this is my goal. Please ask me, please encourage me, please ask me about the progress and how things are going. Please push me. You can join a Facebook group for this. There are many Facebook groups where there are accountability partners. You can do this with your close friends or business partners, or you can actually hire a coach. So these are all things that you can do. Another way of making yourself accountable is I've never tried this, but I've seen friends and colleagues who've done this. Another way of making yourself accountable is go online and make it public that, guys, this is what I want to do. I want to write a book this year and I'm committed to this vision, and every day I'm going to do, and I've come here just so that you guys can cheer me on and keep me accountable. So that's also something that you can do in building your self-discipline, because when you want to quit, you'll be thinking, I made it public that I'm going to do this, so I'm going to do all I can to actually do what I said I would do. So definitely get some help. You cannot build discipline by yourself. It's something that, you know, you work on, you grow on. It's a muscle that gets stronger. So getting an accountability buddy would definitely help. I really hope you enjoyed and learned something from this video about how to become more disciplined. I'm excited to let you know about our productivity planner, which is available now for pre-order. And I received some samples in the mail. This one is by far my favorite one, and it's just so beautiful. If you want to get organized for 2022, head over to our website or shop. Link is in the description. Get yourself a productivity planner. It is so beautiful. I don't even know how I'm gonna wait until next year to use it.